allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Pearson.
Present.
Bradford. Present. Wolford.
Present.
Nichols. Here. Sanders.
Present.
Ware.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum, and thank you all that are in attendance tonight. First, we have minutes. At this time, we're asking for an approval. I'm going to ask for a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes for the board meeting on February 23rd, 2016. Motion by trustee Pearson, second by trustee Bradford. Roll call, please.
Pearson.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Wolford.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Ware.
Yes.
Minutes approved. Moving on to payroll and accounts payable. This time, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second for approval, please.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ware, second by trustee Sanders. Roll call, please.
Pearson.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Wolford.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Ware.
Yes.
Approved. This time we have no unfinished business, no new business, no business licenses tonight, as well as no report from the chief nor the attorney, and no need for executive session. We now have comments. First comment, Ms. Donna Ayers.
Well, first I want to say I'll probably never wear red again because you have tainted that color. Seems like you were running for mayor again over there in Parkville Terrace with Miss Phyllis, Jeff, Melba. You actually were over there also. And it took almost 40 of you to want me knocking on doors to tell these people why they should annex into Cahokia. And I want to know why you didn't tell them the truth. 40% higher on their taxes. Why didn't you just tell them the truth? Why did it take just me to let them know what was actually going on and that y'all went to court behind their back? Why is that? Do you all feel good about that? Because I can tell you right now, them people are saying no. And actually, I have a lot of tapes. And, you know, I was actually going to play it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save it for later on. But second, you say you're going to clean it up. You can't even clean up Cahokia. You don't have enough people to clean up Cahokia. So how are you going to clean up there? And as far as the taxes going down, you're not going to make them go down. They're not going to go down. We all know that. You're preying on people in Parkville Terrace. A lot of people say they were offered money. I have some recordings, and that will come later. And it seems like you want this land so bad, and I'm not understanding why you want it. I know you're not going to answer any question that I have, but I'm hoping you don't get it. I really am hoping you don't get it, because you guys are deceiving everybody. But you knocked, or Joanne Reed actually knocked first, Phyllis knocked second, and apparently that didn't do it, so you had to come third to knock on the door. Yeah, you're lucky they couldn't make it here because they are working, because some people do want to come. And that's all I got to say about that. Second, preach of peace. Yelling, shouting, hooting, cussing, cursing. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that for breach of peace that you charged me for. I don't remember myself screaming. I don't remember myself fighting you guys to get put out of here. All I asked you was, can I make a comment? And you made it very clear that I couldn't. So once again, you broke my constitutional rights to talk. And I don't think it's going to go on too much longer. Because, right, you don't make the rules. You do not make the rules. This is the state of Illinois. This is our constitutional right to speak at an open meeting act. I don't know who made you God, but you're not. You're not. And you've got a lot of people going against you right now. So, God help you.
Thank you, Ms. Ayers. The next comment we have is from Ms. Kathy Bishop.
Yes, sir. There was something on Facebook that said that on the advice of your attorney that you would not return the property that was illegally confiscated from the former Cahokia basket unless there was a court order. Can you produce, either of you gentlemen, produce a court order that allowed you to confiscate that property illegally from a nonprofit in the first place? Because if you want a court order to return it, you should have had a court order before it was stolen. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. Next we have Ken Deers.
I'm going to expound on what Ms. Bishop said. My comment is in regards to the Cahokia Community Baskets. As you know, I'm the president of the board of the Community Baskets. On June 23rd of last year, Christina Walker was doing what you told her to do by removing all property belonging to our 501(c) charity. From your building, with the help of many volunteers, she had our freezers and refrigerators loaded onto trucks. You ordered your police department to make her put them all back into the building, even though she had the proper paperwork from the state proving the 501(c)(3) status. My wife, Kim, has sent you several emails to which she has received no response. In our first meeting with Mrs. Jackson, we gave her copies of the paperwork from the state. She told us you would not release our property unless we gave you copies of receipts. I personally met with you, Mr. Mayor, and explained that we were a 501(c) charity and that our freezers and refrigerators had been donated over the years. And I told you I would personally take full responsibility for any future litigation on the property. I gave you my number. You said you would get back with me after speaking with your attorney. You never did. My wife requested through Freedom of Information Act copies of any receipts the village had proving this property belonged to you. And got a note back from the clerk's office that you had no receipts. You say your attorneys advised you not to return our property. Your attorney says that decision is up to you and your board. Our client list has grown to almost 900 St. Clair County families. We are currently distributing to 250 to 300 families per week. We've had to turn away many people due to our lack of storage. We are asking you to help us help those in need. Our clients are people who need our help. Do the right thing. Return the property.
You stole that property as a citizen that donated to them. So I would like to file a theft report on the mayor. Sir, please, will you see me after the meeting for that?
Ms. Deers.
Okay, my comments are in regards to the clerk's office. Mr. Duncan, you have been in office for 10 months now. Plenty of time to learn your duties as village clerk. My personal experiences with you have not been pleasant. I have had trouble with getting any response from your office. My emails go unanswered, as well as many of my FOIA requests. I either receive my requests months after I submit, get wrong information, or get no response at all. OMA states you must respond within 5 days. Even when being treated rudely by your staff, I always have done my best to be polite. I've tried to be patient, but still get no response. Therefore, I've started turning over things to the Attorney General's office. On February 29th, I submitted a request for review concerning a situation in which your office sent me a copy of an agenda that was entirely different than the one passed out at the November 2nd meeting. Your response was to email me back that you said your office had no knowledge of this going out this way, that Debbie had worked hard to get the record straight, that it was not in the books this way, and therefore this is closed. Which agenda is not in the books this way? Which agenda is the correct agenda? Your response was inappropriate. I sent a valid question. Forging public records is a serious crime. And how you can say that your office had no knowledge of this when in fact it was Debbie who sent me the email, I mean, how can you say that? You know, I've spoken with the Attorney General's office and have requested a full investigation into this matter. I would also like to ask Chief Purcell to investigate. The Attorney General's office has assured me that just because you say it's closed doesn't mean it's closed. I understand you may not like me and that I may have a tendency to ask a lot of questions, but I promise your ignoring me will not make me go away. The more I learn about the corruption in this village, the more determined I am to keep you honest. And just because you don't like me doesn't mean you can ignore me. This isn't the 7th grade. If you are unable to perform your duties in a professional manner, you should resign. This goes for everyone sitting at this table. You were elected by the people to serve the people, not Mr. Sprague, not Mark Kern, but the people of Cahokia. I don't want to hear about what happened last year or 5 years ago. We're talking about now. You're supposed to be doing things that are in the best interest of the village. In 10 months, you have done nothing but pass out liquor licenses and unneeded jobs to your friends and family. How you can sit at the table and do what you do in front of God and everyone is beyond comprehension. And when I say God, I'm not talking about Mr. Sprague. I'm talking about the real God. This is something you should all be worried about. Preying on the poor and the weak for your own personal gain, which seems to be your team motto, is about as bad as you can get. I ask that you all start doing what is in the best interest of the citizens of Cahokia.
And the police are supposed to work for us, not to be your personal bodyguard.
Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Next we have Ms. Mary Ann Barnes.
See, they don't have consciences. It doesn't work.
Good evening, Mayor Paul, and all of the trustees, and all of the citizens. My name is Mary Ann Burns, and I'm here not to really represent myself, but I'm representing the Cahokia Connections Church Alliance, and I'm also, though, a member of the U.S. Model Action Committee. And the committee was formed in December of 2002. Its sole purpose is to promote patriotism by encouraging the public display of our national motto, "In God We Trust." That's all. So I gave the documents to the clerk's office, and you probably all have now a copy of the proposal. It's an invitation to join in the growing number of cities that are doing this. I don't know how many of you have seen in newspapers around the country or on Facebook where sheriff's cars and police cars have put the decal, "In God We Trust," on there. And it's for patriotism. It serves as a reminder to everybody who sees it of our godly heritage. But it's not about religion, it's about patriotism. And we would appreciate your yes vote. I just see it's not on here to vote tonight. But I was hoping that you would have had a chance to look it over, and if it was okay with you, that you would give us a yes vote. Because, I didn't add it, I should add this. It will be all by donations and paid for by our organization. It'll cost nothing to the village. There's no tax money. We want to do this. And in time, we want to do the police vehicles first with the decal mark. Later on, if we have enough donations, I think it would be beautiful. The front of the building, there's a perfect place that's about a foot tall, goes all across under the roof, all flat. And we could put that in beautiful metal letters someday, "In God We Trust." So I'm just asking for your approval of that so we could make some plans to move forward. I have other materials here if anybody, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I could answer quick questions if you want me to.
I have no questions, Ms. Burns. I will take this into consideration, and I'll let you know within the next couple of days which way we'll go.
I have something to say on this.
Do the trustees need to vote on it? I don't even know that they need to. I just wanted to be fair as from our organization, bring it before you.
Trustee Nichols.
I had a conversation with Chief Purcell about it, and it seems to come back down to religion. This doesn't have nothing to do with religion. It's a free country. We need this on our cars. And there should be no hesitation between you, the chief, or anybody on this board for what that stands for. And I think you should be able to answer that lady tonight on that thing right there by itself. I don't think you should have to put it on.
Trustee Nichols. Ms. Burns, like I said, I'll be getting with you within the next couple of days. And I have plenty of your materials.
All right, well, all the papers are there now, I'm just going through the courts.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody that opposed it, and they take it all the way up to the highest federal circuit court,
It has been, and I've got the papers here to show, I've copied it all, it has been refused to be heard by the Supreme Court. The paragraph they use, it says, it is quite obvious that the national motto and slogan on our coins and in our currency, which is our national motto, has nothing whatsoever to do with the establishment of religion.
Yes, ma'am. At this time, we need a motion and a second for
I'd
adjournment.
like to speak. Sarah Pratt reached out to you again about changing your policy.
Motion by trustee Wolf, second by trustee Wolf, roll call, please.
She's a public access counsel.
He doesn't need to say it about, so he doesn't know what the contract is.
Roll call, please.
Pearson. Bradford. Wolford. Nichols.
Yes.
Sandy.
Yes.
Ware.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.